paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know?
I know, it's
not that being a Karen is just the correct strategy.
I hate it so much, man.
Like, when you're min-maxing social interactions, being a Karen is always correct. Speaking of min-maxing social interactions, I've been watching a lot of Big Brother lately. Social media got too...
podcast.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is how we're opening. Yeah, social media got too stressful, so I was like, let's watch early 2000s reality TV competitions. And I just finished watching Big Brother Season 10, one of the greatest games ever played. One of just the most excellent seasons of television ever. And that is to say that...
For those of us who don't... Not me, I binge it 24/7, but for everyone else, what is this show's premise and how does this work?
Okay, so Big Brother, based on...
Little Sister.
1984, George Orwell. I'm going to sound like a real jackass if I'm wrong about that. But Big Brother's always watching. It's about the surveillance state. It's basically they take a bunch of disparate personalities and they lock them in a house with no other human contact for somewhere between 60 and 90 days, depending on the season. This season I just watched was 13 people in a house. There's like 110 cameras and like 50 microphones, and it's streamed 24/7. The only places that like don't have cameras are, I think, exactly the toilets. Like, I think even the showers do, but there's like something blocking it off a little bit so they can still hear you in the shower. You are monitored constantly. And each week there's a competition. Someone becomes the head of household. They nominate people to get voted off, and the house votes. And there's like a chance for someone to veto a vote. And it's purely like a social manipulation game. There's also like some physical challenges for small things, but at the end of the day, it's
when
like
you're voted off, you leave the house.
It was like day 70 of the competition when they had like a sumo wrestler come in to deliver them a letter, and they were like, "That's the first person we've seen in 70 days who wasn't a competitor. Like, this is the first time we've seen a new person in that long." And
they have no phones, you said, right? No
phones. Media, nothing.
No internet
There's
access.
no connection to the outside world. One of them got to... If you win the head of household competition, you get a letter from home that is vetted by the production team. And at the end of it, it goes down to 2 people, then all the people you voted off vote on who they want to win, and like the prize is $500,000.
That's a good amount of money.
It's a good amount of money. I mean, it might actually be more now. Again, the episode I'm watching is from 2007. My headphones also just broke. I'm a hot mess today, but you know what? I've watched a lot of reality TV, so it just makes sense. But really, when it comes right down to it, Big Brother is emblematic of the vending industry, where you are min-maxing every social interaction for outcomes, but emotions get involved. People let their ego get involved.
Yep.
And the people who always do the best are the ones who remove their ego, which is to say, there's no such thing as a bad spec. You're just stupid.
And this is Brainstorm Brewery, everybody. This is... Last week we had Corbin riding solo, and we got so much hate mail that we unfortunately had to reverse our decision and do a Corbinless cast to cleanse the palates.
Yep. This is actually
I heard very good things about his guest.
Episode.
The guest was great. Tannen was wonderful. He was a charming individual. Lot of feedback to get him back on and replace Corbin entirely, but unfortunately, I don't think that's in his schedule. So we are moving onward without Corbin this week. Yeah, Cass and I were both on pseudo vacation. Kind of lovely break from magic. I am wearing my "I am too autistic for this" t-shirt that I just got over vacation.
I'm wearing my 1999 vintage Big Dog Who Let the Hogs Out sweater.
Which you can check out on the YouTube channel at brainstormbrewery.com, or no, at youtube.com/BSB. I think I have youtube.com/BSB. Probably not.
That sounds like a thing you would have put a lot of effort into that no one's noticed.
And youtube.com/brainstormbrewery with different phones at the same time. You have to try typing for efficiency's sake.
Multi-track drifting, yeah. Like DJ said, we were both out last week. DJ had a magicless week. I had a very magic-full week. I was out doing a buy trip and playing lots and lots of Magic, and I think I played the Legacy Beanstalk versus Lands matchup, I don't know, 100 times, because that's all I do anymore. Is play exactly that matchup. I don't like it, but it's what I do.
It's just like a self-flagellation thing. Flagellation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really... if you've ever seen the movie The Da Vinci Code, imagine Paul Bettany's character whipping himself, but instead it's me putting my Underground Sea in the graveyard for the 5th time.
You're
in,
just
like, 20
using
minutes.
beanstalk, like actual beanstalks to do it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I was put on this earth to suffer at the hands of the card exploration and Life from the Loam.
Do you think the Veggie Tales are into BDSM?
Some of them, for sure. I mean, like... Is it... Bob the Tomato, is that his name?
Are we gonna... Because if you can get Bob the Tomato, I think I have Larry the Cucumber.
Okay, so Bob the Tomato is definitely a feet guy.
There's no feet in there's no feet in the vegetables, though. That's so cruel.
And that's why they're so tantalizing.
Always on the edge of eternities, those feet, just simply out of reach, unable to be grasped.
Non-Euclidean toes.
I don't know where that bit goes.
I'm just saying that Bob the Tomato really had a hard time finding the non-Eucliderus. I don't know, man. I don't write the jokes. I just deliver them. Jason's the writer for the podcast. Everything I've ever said on this podcast is something that Jason Alt has written.
That's true. This whole podcast for the past 650-ish episodes has been scripted.
Yep.
There's a teleprompter right there.
Yep. We keep Jason in a sweatshop, and he just has to fucking crank jokes out. He's like Conan O'Brien's writing assistant in 2008.
So he's the one responsible for the housing crisis?
Correct, actually, yeah. Jason Alt specifically.
That makes sense.
And that's why we love him. He does. Oh, he does have the hair to be like a private equity guy, but he doesn't have the heart.
No, the heart goes to the tracksuits instead of the fleece vests.
Yeah. Oh God. Ugh. I just had a jump scare thought of Jason in like a Lands End like fleece vest, or like an what's it, Arc'teryx brand, like some tech wear. He would be the biggest douchebag on earth, but instead he has a pure soul and he wears tracksuits. To any of our listeners who like tech wear and who are private equity guys, please subscribe at patreon.com/BSB. For the low price of $650 per month, you can have access to any of the features on the Patreon site. For our non-private equity people, the price is lower, but that's just because you guys got your money up. You know, you gotta... Spending less money would actually be insulting to you, so you should spend more money with us because you're so rich.
If you are a venture capitalist and you go in the BSB Discord, I will personally give you a little gold star next to your name.
Okay, I will make a custom emote of your face in our server for $500 a month on Patreon. But if you ever miss a payment, it becomes an emote of your face with like a red X over it, because you're dead to us. I don't know what this energy is today, man, but I gotta say, Magic the Gathering is the game of all time.
We're cruising, cruising.
It was pretty jarring to be sitting at my local game store, and I guess not it's a local game store, I flew across the country for this, but playing in a pre-release, and opening up Edge of Eternities booster packs and being excited about spaceships and star charts, and someone being like, yo, you see the new Spider-Man cards they just announced today? Getting spoilers for the next set during a pre-release is really tough for me. I'm not normally one to complain about the pace of things. And, like, I understand that it lined up with a convention, whatever. It's just... I was finally excited about a Magic IP set. Like, a real, like, Magic story that was cool and unique.
Mm-hmm.
And just someone being like, yo, did you see Origin of Spider-Man, this cool saga? And I'm like, I'm gonna station my spaceship and attack you for 4, brother. All the Spider-Man cards look cumbersome mechanically, too. Like, they had to, like, how do you tell the story of Spider-Man? Well, you have to make a 1/2 spider token, and then you have to give a creature death touch. And it's like, I don't know.
It's a little complex, and yeah, a lot of the mechanics seem like there won't be enough cards to make something fully into a thing. I did see that they previewed one of the Infinity Stones, and some people are speculating that that means that there will be 5 additional Marvel sets to follow.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. And I was actually going to comment on the Infinity Stone. The card I'm actually the most excited for is the Thanos art Infinity Stone. That actually looks like a really cool trading card. I don't know. It's weird where, for the most part, I don't care about Spider-Man, but some of the old comic aesthetics I care for, and some of the specific, story beats I find interesting and have resonance with me. But 6 sets of Marvel is like, if it's over 12 years, maybe I can stomach it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I don't know if Wizards has the patience for a long burn anymore.
Right.
It took us, 20 years to get the Talisman cycle filled. It took us X number of years to get the, what is it, the Thornling cycle?
Yeah.
Morphling, Thornling, Emberling, or whatever. Torchling.
Torchling. Brightling and Endling. Yeah. And there's no
and the last 3 they cranked out in the course of like a week.
Yeah. I mean, we have 3 of the charms now, right? We had Archmages, Archdruids, and Archenemies. We're still missing 2.
Yes.
So I mean that's been a couple years in the making, but I actually think so. If they're going to release all the Infinity Stones, which I presume they are at this point, I have to imagine that they won't do it in 6 sets. I feel like there might just be a set that's like the Infinity War set or something.
Like an aftermath thing, sure.
Yeah, or like they release like the other 5 or something. That's my hope. 6 separate sets would actually burn me out on Magic. I barely like Marvel enough to engage with Spider-Man. And
then we have the awkward situation, if one of those flops, they'll never do it again, so then we're stuck with 3 of the 6 forever, like we got with the Commander Collection or the Signature Spellbook or whatever.
No, so I think actually more realistically, whatever Marvel stuff is going to happen with Wizards, I imagine there's already a contract in place locking it all in.
Sure.
Like,
that would make sense.
Even if Magic the Gathering X Doctor Strange is the worst selling set of all time, they still got to do Magic the Gathering X Hulk 6 months later. Like,
yep.
I don't know what to tell you. Corporate contracts is just like a thing that we have to think about as Magic vendors now.
Yeah. God, the fact that the channel in that Discord server has a Labubu channel, or that is the world we live in, is Labubu finance.
I mean, unironically, Labubus are more compelling to me than most graded cards. They feel like less of a grift somehow than some graded cards.
That's true, but it doesn't make me feel less old.
Labubus don't make me feel old. They make me feel,
It feels like baby babies.
Yeah, but they make me feel like my taste is seasoned at this point, right? Like, I know what I like, and that's cool that the kids like that.
Sure.
I will say also, it was really funny. There was a woman on TikTok who was rage baiting. She was holding up like a Labubu clearly dipped in gold paint, saying like, "This is my 24-karat solid gold Labubu," and then she would hold like a metal tester to it to like say, "This is real gold. If this is real gold, the chime will play." And she touched it, and it played the grinder notification sound. Incredible bit. She did it for like 2 weeks, and then she did a blackface Labubu, and it was like milkshake ducked real fast. Solid gold Labubu lady milkshake ducked is a sentence that never has been said before this instance. Like, not me saying it, but this scenario.
Flew too close to the sun with your Labubu, and the gold wings melted away, and you flew back down to Earth. You crashed.
Realizing that everything on Earth is a grift in some capacity has been tough, and that, like, people trying to provide actual value to other people doesn't really work anymore. Like, it's a great way to make, like, a lower middle class income is providing value to your community and those around you, but, like, honestly, man, what if we sold timeshares in a public park and you had to use crypto to access it?
What if we sold timeshares for supplements, so everyone got to share the supplement pill bottle? and you just kind of pass it around, and you get to spend a week with the supplement bottle.
Yeah.
And then
So
you know somebody else.
You know those videos where it's like it's a couple and there's like a full like it's like a cheeseburger and fries and a drink, and one of them has to like solve a Rubik's Cube, and until they solve the Rubik's Cube, the other person gets to eat as much food as they want, and it's like the guy's solving the Rubik's Cube and the woman's eating like one fry, and she takes a little bite of the burger and he finishes it and shoves her out of the way and then houses the whole thing. We should do that, but on the blockchain. I'm just saying.
And our blockchain is just a bunch of McDonald's receipts glued together in a string.
Yeah. We should sell a course on making courses to sell. Let's start a grading company where we turn the industry on its head. The worst cards get a 10. Pristine cards get a 1. People will be clamoring for the I don't fucking know. What are we going to call our grading company? Diamonds in the rough 10s, which are actually just the ones.
Only if rough is spelled RUFF and our logo is a bulldog.
It's the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh man, a big dog themed TCG grading company that functions on the blockchain and does B2B SaaS marketing?
WTF, LOL.
Oh my god. So anyways, yeah, Magic the Gathering's great. I love playing games. And I've actually played a bunch of games recently. I've been playing a lot of Magic. It is the cure for disliking Magic is to play it. I'm bringing in intense energy today.
I was going to go into Breaking Bulk, and then you said that, and then I didn't know what to say.
Well, my Breaking Bulk is actually a card I've been losing to a lot while playing Magic.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
My Breaking Bulk is a red uncommon from Magic the Gathering X Final Fantasy.
Oh, Suplex?
No.
If it's not that, I'm done. Oh, what?
That's a good guess, but no.
Oh. If it's not that, I don't know.
It is Fire Magic. Any Fire Mages in the chat? It is a 1 red mana instant that does 1 damage to each creature.
In the chat?
Yeah, any Arsonists. It's a 1 red mana instant with the tiered ability. The 0 tier is deal 1 damage to each creature. The 2 mana tier is deal 2 damage to each creature. And the 5 mana tier is deal 3 damage to each creature. It's an instant speed, 1 damage sweeper. This card's presence alone in the format of Standard right now makes me feel like 1 toughness creatures are unplayable. I've been playing a lot of like the Pixie deck with Sun Spirit Kieran or whatever it's called, and like my Otter tokens, and they all just keep dying to Fire Magic. This card is like 25 cents to 50 cents on TCG, and it's got a $1 buy list on Card Kingdom, and playsets are like $8 on TCG.
If you remember the card name Electrickery, it's time to get a new appliance system.
Yeah.
And check your roofing and your shingles and all of those household chores, because that's how old you are, listener.
Because you're old enough to have had time to buy a house before the market got bad, and It's also in disrepair because it's been that long. You're like not old, you're old if you remember Electrickery. This card is just like, it's an uncommon from a set where the play boxes are like $250 or something, right?
And this set is getting cracked by people who are just leaving this in the bulk, right?
Yep.
This set is being cracked by people who are opening boxes, looking for their favorite characters, and or waiting for the TCG Player app to make a particular ding sound, notably the grinder sound. And
yeah, of course.
Then all the other cards are just going in the bin. And Fire Magic and most other Final Fantasy uncommons, I imagine, are going in the bin. There will also be stores opening this en masse, so there will be a large supply of this, but this is the kind of cards you will buy your bulk from somebody who is doing their whatnot box openings and not caring about the chaff.
I will say, regarding this card, something that might be relevant, might not, is it does feature Vivi, one of the most popular characters in Final Fantasy. I think that's Vivi at least. It might just be a random mage. I don't actually know Final Fantasy well enough, but if that is, then that is another demand vector for the card. Probably doesn't affect much, but it's worth noting.
Yeah. Great art. Little guy.
Yeah.
Just a little guy. My Breaking Bulk is also just a little guy. It is a black uncommon creature from Eventide.
Come on, man.
It's got some reprints, but they don't really count.
4-mana 3/3 Soul Snuffers, maybe?
No. Not a bad guess, but no.
Does that have something to do with -1/-1 counters?
No.
Ooh, those are all the cards I know from Eventide that are black.
It does not have to do with any set mechanic.
Eventide. Beseech the Queen's Shadowmoor?
Yes, this is a creature. It technically has dual deck reprints, but they don't really count.
Oh, dual deck reprints might actually help me. And it's mono black? What the
Yep.
fuck?
Card is roughly $2 retail. Foils are $12 roughly for nice copies.
I'm gonna feel like such a dunce when you say it, because like I feel like I know this. I feel like I can kind of. It's not Dark Hatchling. That's like that's gold. No, I got nothing.
I think this is one of the last remaining Eventide cards that has just dodged the mass reprint cycle. So it never got like a master set, never got a secret lair, any sort of reprint for anything. It's just dodged since the dual deck anthology for Divine versus Demonic. Soot Imp.
Yeah.
Soot Imp is a 3-mana 1/2 flyer. Whenever any player plays a non-black spell, that player loses 1 life. Very nice against your Izzet mages who like to just cast 85 things in a turn. It does work against you, but only for your artifacts or whatever if you're playing mono black. And the card is just matrixed to avoid reprints. It's in the Demonic deck for the Divine versus Demonic, which was over 15 years ago. And then the anthology for that also has basically no supply anywhere. And so, yeah, this is just a very expensive card relative to its supply.
I think I actually have seen more copies of the Divine versus Demonic version of this card than the Eventide version at this point in my life.
Probably.
Which is to say, I didn't even know this card was an Eventide. When you said it, I was like, oh, right, duh. But to me, this card is originally from Dual Decks Divine versus Demonic.
It's just a little guy.
It's just a little guy.
And it falls into the Blood Artist game actions category of you just want cards that say whenever, comma, blank. And some people just enjoy pointing at the card over and over.
Commander players love being like 6 phases in a turn later and being like, oh, I missed this trigger. Can we do this now? They love that.
Imagine this with a Ristic Study on the table. Guess how many times you get to point at your card? Oh my god, that's...
Would you like to lose the 1 life?
Speaking of insufferable, Riftbound is coming out, or is released, I should say now. Riftbound
It's actually out?
It is, yeah, it is available for purchase. I don't know if people physically have the cards yet, but you were able to buy boxes a few days ago over the weekend.
Sure. I personally have a moral objection to League of Legends, so my thoughts on this game are that it's probably going to be very successful because people love evil things. And every person I've talked to about this game says it's really incredible. Granted, I've only talked to devs, game store owners, and League of Legends fans, so 3 of the least reliable narrators. But I'm sure this game will be very profitable for people who want to engage with it.
Yeah, so as somebody who has been sober from League of Legends for 5 years now, and somebody who really liked Legends of Runeterra, which was Riot's take on Hearthstone several years ago, they basically killed that game for this one, so I have some inherent spite that I am bottling up healthily and normally. And they've reused a lot of art assets from Runeterra to make this, which is just a dagger right through my heart. I've watched some of the how to play videos. I have yet to watch a full gameplay take place, but I have heard it's much more complicated than a regular card game. It is more akin to a board game than a competitive 1v1 TCG from what I have seen and understand of it, where you are battling for point structures and capturing objectives and building up your points to a win threshold instead of getting everyone else's life total to 0. It's designed for up to 4 players, which is in its favor, but akin to Commander, right? Because that's like the main thing that holds, Flesh and Blood back, is that there's no casual, let's sit down and jam our favorite guys together at a 4-person pod. Riftbound has it's got a large list of pros and cons, in my opinion. Like you said, the pro is it's a existing very, very strong IP. Downside is that IP has been on the decline the past several years. I mean, League of Legends, the competitive scene, I think peaked a few years ago. And it's
Arcane has done a lot of good for their IP though.
And that's part of the upswing. I feel like there's so many things where it's, oh, this is really, really good for the game, and then so many other things that are just, this is really bad for the game. Like Legends of Runeterra's main problem was that they made it too free to play. For those who don't know, this is their Hearthstone model where you were basically able to play the game for free. I played the game for free and felt bad about playing the game for free because they gave me so many free cards that I just bought some cosmetics to like justify, like, hey guys, you guys got a few $100 out of me. You deserve $50 at the very least. And then the game went under because they didn't monetize it correctly on the opposite end of the arcane or arena spectrum.
Hearthstone notoriously actually had trouble monetizing Battlegrounds, which was, I think, one of the coolest game modes ever, and Battlegrounds did not get a lot of support for a very long time because of that. Struggling to monetize your digital card game is a great way to lose a bunch of money and have to turn it into a physical card game, which physical card games is very profitable for the manufacturers and the production companies. My rhetorical question regarding Riftbound for you and DJ and our listeners who are thinking about potentially dabbling in it if you want to play it, that's fine. Like that's there's no question that if you want to play it, you should just do that. But if you want to engage with it in a financial mind, or you're thinking about trying to become a vendor for it or something, if the game picks up, the first people to market who are vending it probably have an advantage.
Yes.
You saw that with One Piece. The real question is, in a world in which there is so much opportunity within Magic, within Pokemon, within One Piece, already established card games that have much less risk, why are you spreading yourself into Riftbound? If you love League of Legends and you think the passion might encourage you to work more, great. But I actually find that right now, I'm someone who has a pretty deep and broad understanding of Magic and Pokemon, and I find myself so overburdened with opportunity in Magic that I'm struggling to even deal with Pokemon right now.
Yep.
And not to mention people who also do One Piece. Like, you could probably be a mono Magic business and have enough action to be successful right now. And that won't last forever. I think Magic is kind of experiencing sort of a climb. I don't know how long it's sustainable, but like, why are you doing something that you're not sure is going to be successful that you're good at when there's already so much good going on? That's
a very good question. I thought the same while watching the Labubu channel go off and people posting pictures of their gas station saying, hey, should I buy this gas station out of Labubu's? And then other people teaching you how to spot fake Labubu's, counting teeth and looking for QR codes and everything. And I'm just sitting here, like you, as somebody who has built something off of Magic exclusively. I don't even do Pokemon. And just thinking, my ship is this. I'm making money here. I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the business growing thing. I've survived One Piece. I've survived and ignored Lorcana. I know other people who have made a good amount of money in them, who are passionate about those projects or who believe in the gameplay of the mechanics and everything. I am fine just sitting in my little boat, just coasting along and continuing to do the thing. And there's probably money to be made here, but is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know. And personally, I don't think so, because like you said, there's secret layers releasing that you should be buying. There's people selling their Final Fantasy stuff that they over budgeted for. There's so many places to take advantage of in Magic right now.
Yep.
And it looks like a game. It's got a big IP behind it, just like One Piece. It's got a big IP behind it, just like Lorcana. Is it going to survive 5 years from now? Who knows? Should you be planning for that? Probably not.
Lorcana is a game that had this really meteoric rise. And when Lorcana first came out, I owned a game store, and we made a ton of money on Lorcana. And we weren't even price gouging on it. We were just like, we had our base price set really high, and if someone came in and played an event, they could buy a box for basically MSRP. and we built a community, and it was really strong for a couple of years. And now the next Lorcana set is Chronicles. It's just all reprints from the first couple of sets and nothing else on a bunch of cards that are already cheap. It's like, as a game store, are they supposed to buy that? And I actually think that the way that that business engages, so when I was kind of on my way out there, we had to make choices around things like the Gundam card game. And we basically said we should buy the Gundam card game from our distributor and we should stock it, but we shouldn't run events. Like, if we buy 5 cases of the Gundam card game and we sell them all in the first weekend and we never get another box of Gundam in until the next set release, that's great. That's a free money button, and you push those when you can. But building anything structurally in your business around a new product is so risky.
Especially if your business is based around any sort of automation system. Even I'm not talking about a $30,000 Roka here, but talking about just, I normally scan a bunch of cards with the TCG Player app and then press some buttons on CSV files, move them around, get them online. Your new card game is going to require manual labor and manual price lookups, and your customers will be people who have no idea how that is. And they're going to be sending you iPhone 6 pictures from above that include their feet and being like, how much for this stuff? And it's a whole nightmare of just headaches and everything. Is the Riot is what's his name, Omega Squad Teemo, going to be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars 3 years from now graded? Maybe. Is that worth just not buying more Sephiroths and stuff?
Let's play a game.
Press the button.
Let's play a game real quick. I talked a lot about the Star Wars card game last year when I was getting into it. It's really fun. I think it's actually mechanically one of the best card games I've played in a very long time. And the game released originally with something called showcase cards, which were like 1 per booster case. And it was just like the foil versions of the leader cards. We're going to ignore the one that got banned, because that one's price I'm not really that interested in. But the first set for the Star Wars game was called Spark of Rebellion, right? We're going to look at the single cards from Spark of Rebellion. The most expensive leader card is still actually the banned one, but instead we'll look at the one that's not banned. 1 year ago, from the base set of the game, the leader Leia Organa Alliance General showcase card was $616. Today, $263. And the card's still strong. I was talking to somebody recently who still plays the game. They're like, yeah, I think this is one of the stronger leaders. But if you bought those at any point, you probably have taken a huge hit. The card has only gone down since it was released, right? Demand just doesn't keep up for these games. And if the game blows up and you happen to hit the 1 in 50, great. You know, you make a bunch of money. But is that replicable? Is that the thing that you want to bet on? And further than that, we've talked about like 7 different card games in this conversation.
And
Magic
just
and
since the
Pokemon?
podcast has come out, like this podcast came out during the Obama administration, and the first one, and like we've weathered so many card game storms of people getting into Flesh and Blood and selling out, and getting into what was it? Force of Will was a card game for a while. Not the Alliance's card, the card game Force of Will that I was told by so many people who would outpace Magic and replace it, and it's just, you can't beat the big 3.
It's crazy. I don't even think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the third one in the big 3 anymore.
What would you say is the third one?
I think One Piece might have more market share than Yu-Gi-Oh! And that might just be me being foolish, but like, everything I hear about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Industry is that it is just totally...
They've been saying that for 20 years, though, and they've still been on top. Like,
That is true. So the biggest thing for me is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is losing market share in Japan. Final Fantasy is a landmark Magic set for a lot of reasons, but to me, one of the biggest things about it is the first Magic set to have stronger demand in Japan than the US. The first one basically ever.
That's true.
Like, one of the things people don't realize is that the secret layers of Final Fantasy, there's the Japanese and the English ones. The Japanese ones are so much cheaper than English ones on TCG Player. Like, a Japanese, the Cyclonic Rift is like $13. That card buy list for the same number in Japan. And granted, both numbers are bad, but Japanese copies of the cards still play there. They still are as equally as desirable as English ones, if not more so.
Just because they have the characters on them.
Well, just because it's more popular there, right? Like, if you open up a Cyclonic Rift from Return to Ravnica, it's not that valuable in Japan because people play less Commander there, and so people in America want the English ones, so the English ones have higher demand. But if there is a place that I can export my Japanese cards to where they're as good, if not better than English, that's huge. And the fact that One Piece has gained as much market share in Japan as it has in the US, and the fact that Pokemon is obviously bigger than ever, I'm not even sure that... I mean, Magic has never been a big 3 game in Japan. But it might be soon. It's on its way. This is all to say, why are we making bets on horses that we're not sure how they run when we already got a great horse in the stable? We got multiple great horses in the stable. What I'm saying is you should get into horse racing and betting on it. That's actually what I'm saying.
Specifically, the Brainstorm Brewery branded Bitcoin app that lets you bet on horse races.
Exactly. I actually have a little segment prepared, if we'd like to get into that. I'm calling it my Edge of Eternities Constructed First Impressions Review. It's a really brief name, very simple. These are my impressions on some of the cards in the set that either I thought were going to be good and have impressed or disappointed, or cards that I didn't have on my radar that now are on my radar from playing with the set. So I'm just going to dive right into that, actually. A card that I didn't really think much of during preview season, but has impressed me in both Legacy and Modern, is Quantum Riddler.
Quantum Riddler being a 5-mana 4/6 flyer. It is mono blue. When it enters, you draw a card. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many +1 instead, and then it has Warp 2. That's all. Okay, I gotta... As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand,
so 1 or
if
0.
you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many +1 instead.
So if I have
So
Quantum
if you have
Riddler
1 card
play,
in hand and you go to your draw step, you draw 2.
Yes. Or if you have a Quantum Riddler in play and you play your last card in hand as Brainstorm, you draw 4, put 2 back. The real secret to this card is that it is a 2-mana 4/6 that draws a card on ETB. And then at the end of turn, when the Warp Trigger goes in the stack, you can consign to memory the Warp Trigger, or you can ephemerate the Quantum Riddler, or you can have Philia attack and blink the Quantum Riddler. In Legacy, a thing I've been doing recently is playing this in my Up the Beanstalk deck, which, by the way, triggers Up the Beanstalk when you warp it. But you go end of turn on turn 2, you play Philia, you untap on turn 3, you warp this, draw a card, attack with Philia, blink it, comes back in, you draw a card, and it stays in play as a 4/6. Or... you just turn 3, warp it, ephemerate it, boom, you have a 4/6, you draw a card, next turn you blink it again, draw another card. Notably, all of these things go really well with Solitude, so blue-white control shells in Modern have been playing this. The black-white blink deck finally has a 3rd good blue card to splash. Before it was just Psychic Frog and Consign to Memory, now it's this. In a deck playing 4 Flicker Wisp, 4 Philia, 4 Ephemerate, this card finds a great home. This card's sort of in the same space as the Black Overlord, which, as we know, very powerful, very expensive. This is probably the card I'm going to talk the most about on this list because I underestimated it in some of my favorite strategies, and I actually don't own any copies of this yet, and it's already started spiking, and so I should probably fix that. Next card that I missed is a Mythic Cosmogran Zenith.
So this is a 3-mana 2/4 in white. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, choose 1. You can either make 2 1/1 white humans or put a +1 counter on each creature you control. 3-mana Mythic 2/4 baseline stats, and it falls into the it's some Corey Steelcutter nonsense, basically.
Yep. This card is obviously not Corey Steelcutter, but I've been playing it in the standard Esper Pixie deck. Nurturing Pixie, Fear of Missing Out, all those things, a great way to play 2 spells in a turn, even if you only have 1 card in hand, because you can pick up an enchantment and replay it for your second spell. This thing either builds your board wide or builds it tall. Playing this card on turn 4 with a 1-drop is just really strong in Standard right now. I think this is the sole reason why the Esper Blink deck might still exist. It's the big one.
I remember when being a human was a relevant creature type.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had an Innistrad set that actually mattered, right?
And it's been a long time since Red and 6 was not in the Modern format.
Yeah, I mean, God, I can't even imagine trying to bring a humans deck to a Modern tournament right now.
Some people still buy Noble Hierarchs for me, and I do wellness checks on them.
Noble Hierarch's good with Nadu in Legacy. That's something. The next card on my list, Ice Till Explorer. I think this card was not card anybody thought was bad. Yeah,
Ice Tail
sorry.
Explorer, 4 mana, 2/4 in mono green. It is a Crucible of Worlds that also gives you an extra land drop every turn. And whenever you play a land, you mill a card. This card has, I'm glad they made landfall evergreen effectively.
Yeah.
Just one of the best mechanics of all time. But that's Crucible and Explorer or Exploration. That's
Yep.
both of those on the same regular rare.
And it helps you find more lands to play. Played against this card in Standard, and it was really scary. My opponent played Ice Tail Explorer. It resolved because they Cavern of Souls it into play. They put a Fabled Passage into play, and they milled a Mistrise Village, and on their next turn, they played their 6th land and played a Landfall Matters card, and then they just had Exploration and Crucible, so they never missed a land drop for the rest of the game. Sorry, they never missed 2 land drops per turn for the rest of the game. And also it fueled their graveyard strategies, because they had some flashback stuff. They just put a lot of really strong effects on one card here. I think they got tired of their play extra lands or, Crucible of Worlds creatures not being good enough, so they just said, give it everything. Just give it everything.
And this one's going to be Commander player forever.
Yes. Yeah. I think this card might even be, Legacy playable in, Loam strategies. I mean, there's been, the 4-color Loam decks way back in the day. This is a Green Sun Zenith target in Modern and Legacy.
Somehow Amulet will fit this in.
Probably, actually, yeah. The first copy of this has to be incredible in Amulet. That's not even to mention, there is a standard deck that has kind of been seeded into the format of, Lumra, self-mill, landfall stuff with the, a green-black deck, maybe, that sacrifices its own lands. There's just a bunch of strong things to do with this card. I think we'll look back in 5 years and think this is the best card in the set, outside of, potentially, Tezzeret, who, by the way... Tezzeret Cruel Captain, who we have talked about on the cast before, I think is the best card in the set for Legacy and Vintage. I think that Vintage is a format in which this card might not last forever as a 4-of. I genuinely think that Tezzeret might warp the format enough to get restricted. And that's playing with it very little. So, fun fact for you, if you have a Tezzeret in play and a Displacer Kitten, you can put every 0 and 1 mana card in your deck into play. Because you cast a Mox, you flicker Tezzeret. Tezzeret finds you a new Mox. You cast a Mox, you flicker Tezzeret. And then, at the end of all of it, you find 2 Sensei's Tops, and you can use the 2 Sensei's Tops plus the loop to draw your deck.
So you win.
So you win. And that's one of the things you can do with Tezzeret that's good. Not even the fact that you can pick it up with Paradoxical Outcome and keep chaining Mox, and the fact that he untaps Time Vault, by the way. That's just Vintage. In Legacy, Mystic Forge, I think, is maybe the best deck again.
If you stick around to the end of the episode, my pick of the week is based on Tezzeret Cruel Captain and all these crazy artifact things you can do nowadays.
Fantastic. And the last card I want to talk about is also my pick of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Is Nova Hellkite. I'll read this one because it's my pick of the week. Nova Hellkite is your typical haste dragon for the set. It's red, and 3 colorless for a 4/5 flying haste. When it ETBs, you deal 1 damage to target creature an opponent controls, and it has warp of a red and 2. Cards under $1, and it has been so wildly impressive in standard play. It has housed me multiple times. The fact that you warp it, ping a small creature, hit them for 4, because it has haste. Not every warp creature does. And then in the late game, you just have another chance to play a 5-mana, 4/5 haste dragon that pings something on the ground. It's your 3-drop and your 5-drop in an aggro deck. It's your mana sink. It's kind of a lava axe in a weird way. Card just does a lot of little things. And
Kill a
really impressed with
Planeswalker
it.
quickly.
Exactly. At under $1, I don't know. This is the kind of card that could have a breakout performance at the PT. I think the PT's modern, so maybe not this PT, but one of the showcase events. I think this will be a standard player for years to come.
Sure. It's got plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
So, in Edge of Eternities, I'm on mtgstocks.com/sets/2231-edge-of-eternities. Who is the sponsor for this episode? MTG Stocks is the sponsor for Brainstorm Brewery. It is a great place to look at card prices, filter data, check the interests for when cards go up, when cards go down. If you use the premium side, you can set alerts to your phone. You can customize your collection a million different ways. I use MTGstocks.com to find my picks of the week, and often my breaking bulk when my robot is out on sick leave. And MTG Stocks has always been a big fan of Brainstorm Brewery, so we are showing the love because they help keep the lights on here. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm looking at Edge of Eternities on MTG Stocks, and this is typical for a new set where the set is technically kind of not out yet, but there's a lot of cards over the $10 mark. Like you said, like all these cards basically except the dragon are in the $15 to $20 range. And outside of sets like Duskmourn, we don't see cards sticking around that in the long term. What cards from this, cuz like the Blue Academy, Delarian Academy is expensive, Exalted Sunborn is expensive, Quantum Riddler is expensive, Tezzret's expensive. The set has Shocklands, the set has all these like mythics that are above $10. Which mythics do you want to get rid of immediately? What is overhyped in this set?
I want to get rid of all of the commander cards in this set because the thing about commander players is they're never in a rush to buy their cards. I want to get rid of the Crucible, the Gaia's Cradle, the Target Academy, all the planets basically.
Okay.
I want to get rid of Exalted Sunborn. I want to get rid of
we have the Endstone that is just a 7-mana legendary artifact that does words that have commander words on them.
I want to get rid of all of those, and the things that I want to hold on to, which actually, I don't even know if I want to hold on to them anymore because they've already started going up in price, are things like Quantum Riddler and Cosmic Grand Zenith, the constructed playables of the set, because those are the cards that, as people play with the cards more, will go up in value because there's demand for 4-ofs on them. Commander player sees that, the Crucible or the Gaia's Cradle mythic is $30. Maybe I won't buy that just yet.
Right.
I will also say, this set kind of is short printed for a standard set. It seems like every store I know got heavily allocated on it for what is a standard Magic set.
Well, and like you said at the start of the episode, Marvel is hot on its heels, so when do we see peak supply for this? Normally, historically, it's been, okay, the set's been out a few weeks, now it's time to pick up your stuff before it starts spiking, and we kind of saw that with Vegas, where 2 to 3 weeks in was the peak supply for Vegas, or for Final Fantasy cards, Surge Foils, all that, to pick them up, and now we have those going crazy. What's buying the dip for Edge of Eternities, these picks of the week that you have?
Honestly, I don't know. I think this set's sort of in unprecedented territory where my gut says that peak supply is
later this week, maybe? Like when this podcast
maybe
is
later,
releasing?
Like maybe later this week. Maybe a week after that. But every store I know basically sold out of collector boxes at like $400, $450 a box. Like, even though this set is a Magic IP, it doesn't have external demand, really. I think we're seeing some of the Final Fantasy people who came in buy this set. I think that Spider-Man spoilers start up properly, in like 3 weeks?
Something like that, in the next few weeks.
Maybe I was wrong when I said you should dump your planet cards. Like, maybe we are at peak supply. I find it hard to believe, but this set has a lot of really strong cards. Like, I listed off, 5 cards that stood out to me. I have a list of like 15 cards here that I thought were worth mentioning. Like, there's a card on my list that says the description I have for it is Demonic Tutor / Dig Through Time split card, and didn't even mention it. Didn't think it was worth mentioning.
I think where I'm at is I am going to reference our conversation from earlier and just be fine selling things at the numbers they're at for the most part. Because picking Quantum Riddler at 22, I don't think that card goes to 40.
Right.
Because the set can only have so much value. It could be very well be a good card. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I think the room for that card to grow is way lower than the Dragon, where the buy-in's $1, you get your $4, $5 play set, and then that card goes to 4 or 5 a few months or a year or two from now. And you sell everything at its peak right now, but you keep the bulk of your stuff and just wait on that. Just because of the dollar amount transaction values that are worth your time. And I would want to cash out of most other cards in this set at the $20 mark, at the high buy list numbers, at the numbers that they're at now. Like, Shocklands, I don't think you're gonna hold on to your $13 Sacred Foundry borderless and have it go to 20. I think you just great. I open a Sacred Foundry. Let's run it back, turn it into money, get more Magic cards. That's where I'm at with Edge of Eternities.
To me, the real question is, do you sell your $100 Ancient Tomb?
Yes, I think so.
So let's say you got like the cool showcase art, right?
Yeah.
Do we think that price is going to go down? Like, the answer is you do sell it because the whole industry is about churn, right? But let's say you're somebody who doesn't have easy access to buy cards, right?
Sure.
And you open like a Galaxy Foil Ancient Tomb. Do you sell that? I don't know how many more of those are going to get opened. Like, the Mythic Stellar Spotlights or whatever are meaningfully rare.
Yeah.
Maybe not rare enough to justify holding, but like...
It's the first Ancient Tomb reprint in a while. That's true.
We saw the confetti foils go crazy. Like, how much is confetti foil Smothering Tithe? Like $850 now?
But they keep making other versions of it too. That's like they made SpongeBob. They're fine just throwing more cool versions of it.
Even post SpongeBob, I believe that card has gone up in value. Ristic Study, the confetti foil is still like $600-700, right? I remember the confetti foil Ristic Study was like $250 on close to release.
Yeah,
it's possible
for borderless confetti foil Ristic Study is $805,
right?
According to MTGstocks, and Card Kingdom will pay you $500 for 5 copies.
And what's the price chart look like? What was that card 2 weeks after release?
Which one?
The Ristic Study.
Let's check on MTGstocks. It was Ristic Study confetti foil throughout the fall of 2023, which is almost 2 years ago, was around $350.
And like meaningfully rare, very powerful card, cool art. I don't think that the Ancient Tomb is quite as cool as the Ristic Study, but is, how much? I don't know how much Galaxy Foil Ancient Tomb is right now. I was using the base version as an example, but I think that the Ancient Tombs are harder to open than the Ristic Studies for the Galaxy Foil. I think that the regular ones are more rare. I might also be, off on that, but it's purely anecdotal, but I'm sort of just playing devil's advocate here, right? Where it's like, is there anything ever worth holding if not these things?
I don't know. It's just every set is uncharted territory now. Space pun not intended. And you're right that we won't get more of them. That's true. There are other several $100 Ancient Tombs like Bowen's Tomb, like just that there are other versions of this card, but
there are other versions of Ristic Study and Smothering Tithe. And it's possible the confetti foil was like a special enough thing. It just looked cool enough that it was different, but
I've never liked the Galaxy foils. This is a personal thing, but I've never felt they look special enough.
I think that some of them in this, it's really weird where like I've opened 2 copies of the same card in Galaxy foil, like Contested Warzone, not a super valuable card. One of them looks mid as hell, and one of them looks incredible. It's literally like the old Pokemon Holo Swirl stuff all over again.
Customer service nightmare hell.
Yeah, like someone's like, oh, could I get selling this Cythera the Super Ford Galaxy foil with a good swirl? And it's like, someone's going to pay more for that. I'm not going to be the one to find that customer, but someone is.
Yeah.
But to your point, everything is uncharted territory. And so if your goal is to accept risk, maybe you do hold on to your Galaxy Foil Ancient Tomb. If your goal is to make small marginal gains year over year, missionary position vending, then you do what DJ does. And that's actually, I think, probably the smarter move. Now, are you a sicko like me who sometimes like to introduce a little bit of excitement into the things? Maybe you don't sell your Ancient Tomb, but
I tried that recently and got punished for it immediately with the Sonic Chaos Emeralds. So I opened my Sonic Secret Lairs to sell to locals. I opened 3 purple Chaos Emeralds and 30-something Secret Lairs, which feels very, very lucky. We don't know the drop rate on those, but
you and I opened the same number of Secret Lairs, and I opened 1 purple Chaos Emerald, so
I got 3, and they were selling for $400 to $500 that weekend. Yeah. So I thought, if I can get one reasonably cheap, I will finish the purple playset and then sell it at a premium to some legacy player who needs 4 Lotus Petals for their Sonic deck. and I bought a fourth one at 300, I think, and then by the time it got to me, it's low 200. So I still have my playset of Chaos Emeralds, but if I had just churned and burned for 350 selling instead of buying a fourth one, I could have sold 3 at the time for what I paid for all 4 effectively. So that's buying. That's the nature of risk, right? And I'm fine with that. Yeah. I took a risk. Decisions are either correct or incorrect at the time they're made, etc. You no hindsight allowed, all of that. But yeah, I will. Yeah.
This kind of goes back to the Riftbound conversation of, if you have a guaranteed W, just take the guaranteed W.
Yeah.
Like, you could have guaranteed that you sold it for $500, or even $400 if you fire sold. And, like, every time that you get punished, it costs you, like, 2 opportunities. And so, you know, the part of me that is rational and that wants to just do the things that I'm good at just wants to sell it. But the part of me that sees the Rhystic Study from Wilds of Eldraine, the confetti foil, I think, well, but what if this is the one? What if I'm smart enough to beat fate?
And you don't have to beat fate. You have to beat everyone else in the industry. That's the
right.
real tricky part. You have to be
which is
betting
harder
against every other person who is making the other decision, which is tough.
Really, being a Magic vendor is a lot like competing on hit CBS series Big Brother, where you're not just playing the game for yourself, you're playing the game against everybody else involved.
I really thought you were going to say competing as a Magic vendor is a lot like competing on Grindr.
I wouldn't know what that's like. Are you implying something? Do you think is DJ implying that I'm a homosexual of sorts? I'm confused. See, it's funny because I'm doing a bit where you're the funny guy and I'm the straight man. It's you know, it's like a Manzai situation. That one's for the comedy heads in chat. Jason's gonna love that joke. He might not.
This is the part we just need a soundbite of Corbin transitioning out of various podcasts so we can plug it in.
So
we need like 16 different Corbin sound bites to plug in for our various solo duo casts where we just like, and now to pick of the week from whatever. But yeah, and now to whatever from pick of the week to whatever. My pick of the week is based on both pre-modern and Commander and kind of vintage-ish, like not really, but kind of. Voltaic Key, I think, is a card that is secretly going to be very expensive and kind of already is very expensive that nobody knows about. Voltaic Key only has a few reprints. It was originally in Urza's block. It was then in M11, brought back for a year. And then it was in dual deck Phyrexia versus Coalition, which was historically a banger. Everyone has a copy of that at home. And so Voltaic Key was then power crept by something called Manifold Key.
Yep.
Manifold Key, the new hotness, the one that got its retro border and time spiral. Ooh, fancy. But Voltaic Key is still a playable Magic card, and most people that are playing Manifold Key are doing so because they want that effect, and so they will also play Voltaic Key in their 99 cards. And Vintage, of course, you're probably only going to play one of each anyway, but Voltaic Key, you can untap crazy things in pre-modern, like the big monsters that you need to pay life to untap normally, all that kind of stuff. And original printing Voltaic Keys, I don't think you can find them for less than like $10.
I just paid like $6 per copy to buy 3 of them for Legacy. Like, I am the target demographic for this, because the fact that I was already playing 4 Manifold Keys and I also needed 3 Voltaic Keys, and it's like, I'm not going to buy the M11 one.
Yeah. So they're not going... I don't think they will reprint a retro version of Voltaic Key anytime soon. So if you are a pre-modern player, I would keep your eyes peeled for clean copies of this around $5 to $8, because this is the kind of uncommon that you will blink and you're paying $15 for a clean Urza's one at a booth a year or two from now.
Yep.
My pick of the week is Voltaic Key. Specifically Urza's, but I think the other ones are fine too, because like I said, they'll print Manifold Key, they'll print Manifold Key 2.0, they'll do so many things, but I don't think that they will reprint old worse version recently.
It's also, it's interesting where like Swiftfoot Boots gets printed as much, if not more, than Lightning Greaves, because it is mechanically cleaner, if that makes sense. Like, it works with more cards. Voltaic Key and Manifold Key don't really have that problem, and so there's so little incentive for someone who's working at Wizards to be like, let's add Voltaic Key to this product instead of let's add Manifold Key. We saw Manifold Key in Baldur's Gate. It's been in has it been in a secret layer yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Baldur's Gate with different art.
Yeah. Manifold Key is also seeing a little bit of action on some of the versions. Manifold Key, secretly a second Breaking Bulk. I already gave one pick of the week earlier in Nova Hellkite, and I kind of have a second one that is... It's sort of a pick of the week. It's sort of a... This card's really, really strong. And so if you want to play with them, probably get them sooner than later. And it is Consult the Star Charts. For those at home who don't know, Consult the Star Charts is 1 and a blue for an instant with a kicker cost of 1 and a blue. And it says, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. Put one of those cards into your hand. If this spell was kicked, put 2 of those cards into your hand instead. Put the rest on the bottom.
So this is the Demonic Tutor / Dig Through Time, right?
Yeah. Played a game of Standard where it was like turn 11 or something. My opponent's only out was to... They had 4 mana. Their only out was to find a copy of Get Lost. And so they just play a Consult the Star Charts. Look, 11 cards deep because they have 11 lands in play. Find a Get Lost and kill my thing. Lose that game. We go into game 3. Opponent on like turn 8. I have a bad turn. My opponent in turn kicks this. Looks at the top 8 cards of their library and takes the best 2. Oh, one of them is a Consult the Star Charts. So they just get to do it again on my end step. Dig 8 deeper, find another Consult the Star Charts, and, I don't know, the answer to whatever I'm going to play next turn, and I got buried in card advantage. I think the card's probably strong enough to see play in Modern. It probably will never see play beyond that, but if you're someone who believes that Pioneer will ever come back, this card has to be just, like, the most perfect card for Pioneer blue-white control.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Any card that lets you spend your mana in such a modal way at various points in the game is so nice. Because if you really need to, this is just draw 1 card. On turn 2, you can just like effectively draw a card with this, and it's fine.
You could turn 2, look at a sleight of hand, I guess. It's a really bad sleight of hand, or it's Demonic Tutor / Dig Through Time, and like that kind of versatility is a card that you don't see often. I think the rate on this card is pretty quiet. Like, it wasn't super obvious initially, I think, at least to me. Just how effective it was. And that's one of the big benefits of just playing Magic is you get to see this card in action and realize, wow, I am so dead because my opponent played this card I didn't think about once before.
I don't know how relevant this is right now because TCG Direct is still in limbo for the next several months. But the card does currently have a direct premium for $10. The card's retail is $5. And I can... This is the kind of card I can see somebody not blinking at spending $40 for a playset. There are a few sales at $10 too, $9 to $10.
What happens when you're at... Isn't there like a Magic Spotlight coming up at Standard?
Atlanta's next month. I don't know what format it is.
Is Orlando a Standard event? Yeah, Orlando's a Standard Spotlight event.
Okay.
What do you think the odds are that somebody's willing to pay $80 for a playset on site to have their 4 they need to play with that weekend? I know it's a rare, but like that's the kind of thing you could very well see happen.
Yeah.
I think that's a podcast. I think we did a podcast.
Even without ending a podcast, I think we did a better podcast than Corbin. Let us know in the comments which episode you liked more. Like for ours, comment for Corbin's. You can add me at Rose of Thorns on League of Legends. Not really. I don't think that account exists anymore.
You can add me at Captain Ahab on EverQuest 2. I think that was my handle there. It might not have. It might have been. Oh, God. I don't remember what my EverQuest 2 handle was, which honestly is probably a good thing.
Some things are better left buried.
EverQuest 2 is my favorite Daybreak game ever. My second favorite is Magic Online, which is worse.
Thanks for listening, everybody. BrainstormBrewery.com. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/BrainstormBrewery or /BSB. JJ can fade out here while I'm talking, and eventually you won't be able to hear me say anything.
Thanks, JJ.